We measure a number of economic indicators here at Gallup daily and summarize them each week. That's what I do for you here at Gallup.com every week. And one might think that various measures of the economy would be related, correlated with one another. But that's not always the case. This week is a case in point. Let's look first of all at our jobs measure. This is critical. This is where we ask Americans who are employed, is your company hiring people or is your company firing people and letting them go? And for the first time since May, this past week, that would be July 13th to the 19th, we have as many Americans who are working saying their companies are hiring as say their companies are firing. Parity. Again, this is the first time we've seen this since mid-May. Now, to be sure, it's not much of a change at all in the big picture, but nevertheless, instead of getting worse, this jobs measure has been inching a little more positive. Has this translated into Americans having more positive views about the economy? Absolutely not. In fact, the measure of economic momentum has been going in the opposite direction. The percent of Americans who say the U.S. economy is getting worse is now up, and it's been going up steadily since May by about 8 points. It was at 55%. Now we have 63% of Americans who say the U.S. economy is getting worse. So if there has been an increase in hiring, it certainly has not trickled down to Americans' consciousness that the U.S. economy is getting better. Same thing when we look at spending, $62. That's the average amount that Americans say they spent each day last week. That number has bounced around a little, but certainly doesn't represent any kind of significant improvement. So the bottom line here is our jobs measure holding steady, maybe a slight improvement from working Americans, but so far absolutely no sign that that means Americans have become more optimistic or are spending more. And in fact, on our optimism measure, Americans have become more pessimistic over the last couple of months. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, Editor-in-Chief of the Gallup Poll.